What up, Yasharel? My head is bowed to all the princes of the royal tribe of Yahudah, and to Gad and Yasharel. Listen, so I know that we were going to do, and we still are, Ezekiel 36. But this morning when I got up, I had this overwhelming desire to go to my DEM. And so I went there, and there was a message there. I've never spoken with this lady, and as I promised her, I would not mention her name, and I got permission to share this with you. Because normally when you talk to me, it's between you, me, and Yahuah, and I go to him if I have to for you. So it never goes any further than that, and I don't break that confidence either. But I was given permission, and I'm not going to use her name, but I found this message that absolutely, and evidently it was Yah, it touched Yahuah too, Father, because he hears it all. He knows who feels like this woman did. And so she reached out to me, and she said, I'm going to tell you what she said. She said, I'm so scared of the things that I'm looking at and the things that are going to come that I can't eat and I can't sleep. I worry and I'll get sick over my children because I know what's coming and I don't know what to do. I have been in Christianity all my life, and it's not that easy to walk away. I just don't know what to do, and I feel like I'm going to die from worry. Can you help me? Love, Desperate. I was so overwhelmed with that because when I was in Christianity, I felt that I was in danger with my children. I knew exactly what she was talking about. And I searched. I kept going to Father. But I went in my room and I prayed to him. And he said, I want you to tell them, and I want you to be my witness. I said, Father, I would do anything. How do you want this done? So I came in here and I listened to him and I set it up. I just want to tell you, Desperate, that I dedicate this video to you. And I thank you that you were raw with your feelings and you just said, I need help. And this is going to be a blessing to you. And it's straight from Yahuah because we were going to do another lesson. And when I went there and I went to him straight, I knew that we were going to do something else. So this is for you. And let's get started on it. This lesson is going to be called The Protection of Yahuah. And we're going to start with number 1, Compassion of Yahuah, Egypt, and Abraham's star. And it led to us today, the remnant. So let me explain this to you. Father, please don't let me forget anything that you said. Please, please, please. Please don't let me forget anything. All right, I want to explain something to you. You know how you always hear me say that Father is compassionate, he's compassionate, and he judges from the heart. His protection is so unbelievable when you come home that you feel the peace over you. You feel him there. And he said, last days, I am going to comfort my own. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, yes. And I asked Father, I said, do you want me to search where they are? What you want me to give them? And read it to him? And he said, no. He said, you can freestyle. And I immediately went. But he said, I want you to tell them where they can find them, though. That's evidence of what I said. So let me do that now. So it's a record that I gave it to you. It's on YouTube videos, on my videos, And the one that we're going to talk about is the compassion of Yahuah. They stole Abraham's star. And all that right there, I read it from the Sefer. Yah says it. And the story comes from the books. But I'm going to freestyle tonight for you because I don't want to keep you here long. Okay, so we're going to go to the compassion of Yahuah, Egypt. Let's start with Abraham. On Abraham's birth, there were witches and sorcerers, just like we see today in Edom, that came. They were the sorcerers of Babylon's king. And they came to Abraham's home on the night that he was born. And they ate dinner with his father. I believe his name was Tarek. It's in my video. Just go look for it. And they finished with dinner, and they went out to the outside to gather and talk. And the witches, the sorcerers, looked up in the sky and they saw a star. And they immediately knew what that star meant. So they went and they told the king that they had seen the star that had been prophesied about the remnant last days that will destroy this beast system and all this witchery. And you have to go get the video and you'll find out where they had to get JC out of there. No. Go find out what happened to Abraham. It's in there. And you can also find it in the book of Yasher. Okay. So, I told you about that. It's about the remnant today and what Yah does with us. Okay? So, let's talk about the compassion of Yahuah in Egypt. He knew that he had made our forefather Abraham a promise. And one thing I can tell you about my father is he never breaks his promises. He made him a promise that he would save the remnant last days. He would not let Edom wipe us off the face of this earth because this crib was made for us. And that he would protect the remnant last days in Abraham's seed. And he would keep the promise that he could not count his descendants, just like you can't count the stars in the sky that Yah said. You can't count them. So he made that promise, so it had to be kept. So let me tell you what happened. When we went into bondage in Egypt, and I'm going to give it to you the way Yah taught it to me. That way I know you'll understand. When we went into bondage under Egypt, they were killing our children, especially our firstborn males. Why? Because off tops they belong to Yahuah. They're holy, firstborn princes of a house. So they did it from under 2 years old, and the midwives couldn't catch us having the babies because we just have our babies. Yah created pregnancy, so it just goes. Unless you got a curse on you and you're breaking the laws. So after the midwives went to the Pharaoh and told him what had happened and the babies just keep being born quicker than they can get there to kill the child, this is what happened. There was a decree put out that every male child should die. Come on, you know the story. You know what happened to us. But let me tell you what Yahuah did. Let me tell you what he did to keep the promise. So this laws went out. So our Hebrew women went to the fields to have their babies. We gave them over to Yahuah. So when it was time for our child to come, they went out to the fields where they worked, and they had the child, and they got up and they left. Yahuah sent an angel, and he said, I want you to go down and clean up the baby. I want you to coddle it. And on one hand, I want you to put a rock that gives it honey. And in the other hand, another rock that will give it milk and it can suck it. And I want you to make his hair real long because he won't have the comfort of his mother. And it'll wrap him and it'll coddle him. But I want you to hold them before you put them in the ground, in the earth. And so he did all that. And he put them down. They were all happy down there, way down in the earth. And she swallowed our babies. She swallowed them. And all that time they took milk. Yah kept the rocks full. And they were protected from everything as if they were in the womb. And the Egyptians came out with all these hoes and all these shovels and those big things that have the wheels and they would have their animals pull the cart where it would dig down deep in the earth. And they never even came close to the babies. And when they were all developed, or not developed, but grown up to, I think, under the age of 2, the earth spit them out and sent them back to their families, safe. Unbelievable. And y'all watched over him. He didn't let anything come near him, not a bug, nothing. And he kept both of those rocks in their hands so they could suckle on them. Smooth rocks, he said. Get smooth rocks. You have no idea the compassion that Yahuah has despite the wickedness in this world. And now his heart and his ear has turned back to us. And you better believe me, while he's ripping this place apart, he is close to his people. Believe it. Nothing gets by him. And everything on this earth, whether it breathes or not, it obeys his voice. Because he is their creator. Once you come home to Father, he said, I'm the only salvation. I'm sending this stuff. So I'm the only one that can keep you safe and out of the way of it and hidden. I'm the only one. And the reason that you fear so bad, Yahuah said, is because you are naked. You do not have a covering. You have been lied to about a false shepherd that is a government in the military, which is a man that I am not meeting as a man right now. It is false and empty. And that's why you don't feel covered and protected. But Psalms 91 says you can come up under his feathers, his pinions, and I will keep you safe, Yahuah said. Because I am the good shepherd. I'm going out there getting my flock because I'm the good shepherd. And I know where you are. And I'm bringing you in and out of my way. You're not covered. And the same way that you get covered is the same way they taught you to put a false entity within you as its temple. We know y'all won't rest with another God. He's not going to come into a temple like that. That's why he left the one that our people allowed into his temple. He had to leave his own house. He turned his back on us and gave us over to the house of Edom. So all you have to do is go to Father and say, I feel you pricking me and I got what you said. Please cleanse me out. And replace it with your spirit and your spirit alone, your Ruach, because you're my creator. And from that time forth, he starts teaching you and leading you and guiding you to his laws so that he has legal right above all the judges in his courts in heaven to keep you safe and bring you out of this and not destroy you. Because he is a king and he is not coming out of his laws. He will not do it. So you have to come to him. And the second that you do, you will feel your covering. You will feel me near you, he said. And I promise you today, I will be your Elohim. I will keep you safe from what's coming. And I will keep you blessed right now through it. But you have to be the one to go to him. I cannot do that for you. He kept us safe from Egypt, and we are here today. And he is going to use us in a mighty, mighty way. Sophie, didn't I say it's not going to happen? It's not going to happen. Lay down. He can keep you safe from anything because he's the one that's sending it. He said, last days, I'm going to control all flesh. All of it. Even the human. Everybody was saying that this is going to be destroyed and it's going to come down. And my Father said that the foundations of it will not be destroyed. and neither will earth. But he is going to burn this continent to the ground, just like you're watching. Hawaii and Maui and all the rest of them, they are a part of the United States. United States has colonized it and took over it. And Hawaiians are the tribe of Yahuah. They're just not awake yet. They're just angry right now because they know who set those fires. But it's really Yahuah. Because there's a lot of witchcraft and false gods there too by our people. We know that. He makes me research. So when they look for him and come back to the covenant like all of the rest of us are, then he will search them out and save them. But he said, I'm going to burn it to the ground to where an animal will not inhabit it, for they will know that I, Yahuah, have cursed it. This is going. And those fallen angels know, fallen watchers know over the heathen nations to obey what Yahuah says. Because the numbers are great that stood with him. The numbers are great in armies that love Yahuah to this day and despise the watchers for going against him and hurting him like they did. And coming through what he made for himself. And that was mankind. The tribes of Yahuah, descendants of Adam and Eve. He has preserved all of this. And Edom was our punishment. And once it's already over with now, we have learned, and none of us are stepping out of this. None of us. And it is over. And so now comes the process of them destroying everything they built. And the people know it's the government and what they call dark state. But the dark state, or deep state, is nothing but the fallen watchers that are over, which are puppet masters. Do you get it? That Yahuah put over theirs. As in the day of Noah, it shall be last days, and you are looking at it, and you have to swallow it so you can be saved. He's very compassionate. And I would give him up for nothing, and I would do anything for him. And the pain that he suffered from what our people did to him is unbelievable. He had to watch it, he said. You drug me with you to follow this wickedness that you're looking at. And he kept us, the remnant, safe, even in ancient days. And he can do the same for you today. You don't have to be afraid. And when you eat, you will get full and be satisfied with clean food, because everything that comes to your table, he'll bless it before it touches your lips. He promised it. And all you have to do is come to him, tell him to clean it out. Make me your temple, Yah. Yahuah, please save my life. Be my Elohim and my Father. And that's all you have to do. And from that time on, you do nothing but soar. And I'm telling you as a witness. I'm not telling you a bedtime story. I'm throwing you a boat that you can get in and be safe in, that he's sending for you right now. And you know me. You've been watching me for years, learning and growing with me. I speak what I hear him say. And my opinions on it are his. And his are mine, because we're one. I stand behind him in everything, because his way is always best. And you are watching this ground burn because of what they have done. He is so compassionate, and told the angels to get smooth rocks so they didn't cut their gums. Isn't that beautiful? I sobbed. I absolutely sobbed. I curled up in fetal position in my chair by the window while it snowed, and I absolutely sobbed. And I could not wait to put it in a video. I sobbed. Now, let's see what's next. I told you for the remnant today, okay? Now, Father said, I want you to bring evidence. Sophie? No. Father said, I want you to bring evidence. I want you to be my witness. I want you to be the evidence. I said, okay. I saw it. I'm going to tell it. Okay? Not now, Sophie. So, a single mother. It shows you that Yahuah has been watching over me even when I was in captivity in Christianity, because I clinged to Him. I just have always clinged to Him, even down to where the last year I can remember as a child, it was me and Him. So, I had this friend, and I knew that she was on drugs, and she had 2 children, and I loved her children. I loved her, but I just wasn't going to be around, especially not with my children. So when she was doing her drugs and stuff, I would go down and get her children, bring them to the house, bake cookies. They could watch little movies and stuff, and I would watch over them and let her have the weekend. And when I knew it was safe, I would send the kids back home. I knew it was going to be safe because they had to go to school. So we were friends, and then one day I saw this girl go into her house. I could tell that she was in a gang. I could tell that she was beastie, and I could tell that she was nothing to be pleased. She looked like a devil to me, like she was fully fucking just possessed. And I saw her outside talking to her, and they went in the apartment, and I went upstairs, and everything was normal. We just kept hanging out and stuff. She would come to my house, I'd go to hers, and then one time, I was doing my laundry, and I'm telling you, Yah is my witness that this really happened. That's why you can't tell me anything about him. That's why I don't fear anything. I'm going to give that gift to you tonight. So one evening, it was late at night, about 11 or 12, my kids were sleeping on the couch, and I'm doing laundry, and I'm folding stuff, and I'm laying it down. There was a knock at the door. My hair looks terrible. It's been a rough day, just kidding, So I get up and I go over to the door, and I said, who is it? And she said her name, and immediately I got this terrible feeling in my stomach, like danger. I just felt danger, and I heard Father say, don't open the door, call the police immediately. Do it now. Whenever he speaks to me like that, I know it's an emergency. So I got the phone, I got officers to the house, and they came up the steps, and they were standing right there at my doorbell. I thought it was just her, but it wasn't. It was that other girl, too. And when that other girl went down there, y'all was going over there. Y'all told me just to stay at home, let her come to my house. So that's what I did, but I knew there was something wrong with her. I just felt it spiritually. So, hush, the police show up, and come to find out, she was with her on the other side of my door. And so the police put her up against the wall, and they arrest her, and he knocks on the door, and he said, ma'am, can you come outside? So I went outside, and my friend was up against the wall, and I said, what's going on? And she said, I saw the look on her face. She looked at me, and she just went, and didn't say anything. Sophie. So after she didn't say anything, and I see them walk this girl away, and I could see that she was very upset. She was, pissed, and she was looking right at my friend. And so after they didn't arrest her, but they arrested the girl that came with her. And after she left, the police officer said that she had a knife and she had a gun on her that was loaded. And I said, well, I explained to him what was going on. I said, I really don't know her. He said, okay, well, I'll put this in the report and I'm going to go on my way. Okay. Prepare yourself. Because when you do something to one of Yahuahs, he is going to royally snap your neck. Especially if they follow him and the laws and they're a good person. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was. I'm a good girl with 3 children. So, This happened on an FRI. And for 3 days, I did not see my friend. And I went down there and I knocked on the door and it was just dead silent in the house. And I thought, wow. Well, I knew she didn't get arrested. And I thought, well, maybe she went to her mom's house and then I would go back to my apartment. So on the third day in the, excuse me, in the evening, there's this knock at the door. And I go to the door and I said, who is it? And she said, it's your friend. Can I come in? And I said, I knew it was her voice, so I opened the door. And when I opened that door, I could not believe what I saw. I could not believe it. Her face was busted up. She had a black eye where it was swollen, but you could see the red in the white. Her jaw was swelled up. Her lips were busted up. Her body was completely bruised up. And she had on shorts. I saw it. And I looked at her and said, oh, my, what happened? And I said, you know what you do? Get in here. So we go in there and we sit down. And she looks me in my face and she said, I have to tell you something. And I want you to know that I am sorry from the bottom of my soul for what I did to you. And I said, you didn't do anything to me? She said, yes, I did. She said when my friend got out of, she bonded out. And FRI, she came back to my house with 2 brothers. And they held me and my children in the house for 3 days. They fed my children. And they only gave me water. I told her that you stole her crack, not me. And she knew that it was a lie that night when we came to your door. She said she just felt it at that door before the police got there or anything that she was lying. I said, I was stunned. I just sat there. I was like, what? She said, and when she figured it out, they came to my house and they held me in that house and beat me for 3 days. She turned around and she lifted up her shirt. She said they bit plugs out of my back. She would jump on my back. They were demons. I didn't see my friends. They were demons. And they were biting plugs out of my back. I'm going to tell you something. I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified. What I was looking at, what I was listening to, I was just horrified. I didn't know what to think. I felt like I was going to pass out. Got hot, cold, pass out. I don't know. And then she said this to me. She said, I know they were demons. I looked into their eyes. And before they left my house, they said, you are going... No, stop. I got it. God said that you are going to go down and confess to her what you did. And if you don't get her forgiveness and tell her the truth, we're going to come back. But you will apologize and tell her what you did to her and what was really going to happen. I said, what do you mean what was going to really happen? I said, oh, fuck. I said, a devil told you that? And she said, yes, they were possessed. And she was crying. She was scared. She was traumatized. And she said that, or they were going to come back. And I said, well, what are you talking about? What was going to happen? What was going to happen? She said, when we came to your door that night, my job was to get you to come out the door. And as soon as you opened it up, she was on the other side and she was going to shoot you in your head. And we were going to leave. She said, but you wouldn't open the door. And you called the police. She said, you kind of saved me too. I had no idea that this stuff was brewing behind my back. He even watched over my children. We're very close. And at that age, we're very close. He said, don't open the door, because I knew his voice. I knew not to open that door. And as soon as I opened it, she was waiting on this side. My friend was standing here, and she was going to take me out. But God knew from the day they started planning it. And then he sent demons to punish her ass for 3 days because I've been nothing but good to her. And I belong to him, and I'm his daughter. I am a princess of the Most High under Hebrew law. And when they got done torturing her, they delivered her a message from my Father. You will go tell her what you have done and what you were going to do. Yah said, I will raise up enemies in your face just to smash their teeth out right before your eyes, so you will know that I got you. You can't tell me nothing about my Father, because I have been with him since the womb. We are so close you would not believe it. And he knew the plan. Put a stop to it, and then punished her and gave a message. You will go fix this. 3 days of torture. I give that to you as a gift freely. I don't have any problem. And see, this is one of the things that I love to do, and I think maybe that's why I work hard for him. I promised him I would take him to the ends of this earth, and his name would reign. I'm not going to break that vow. But I got to, when I got that message, I love sharing stuff like this with you. Because you can see what type of father you have in him. And at that time, I did not even know that I was a princess, a daughter of the Most High. And yes, they do adopt you into that, because you belong over here. It doesn't belong to you, and you're not in captivity over it anymore. Just a minute. So the second that you go to Father, so remember I told you the bank is Yasharel. You already came to Yasharel, and Yahuah is with us. Now you can go to the Father, because he led you here. That's what the fish meant, is coming out of all that horrid stuff and coming to him. And he will do the same things when this pops off. He will bring you to us where he has us. And he will be surrounding us like he did at Mount Sinai. And you will be provided for. This is the beautiful side of Yahuah. And this is exactly what our King David loved. Anytime I'm not being a Danny or a mama, I am off with Yahuah. And that has always been with me. You can ask anybody that knows me. Anybody, I am always with him. Studying. Doing what he needs me to do. And today this was for you. When she told me what was going to happen, I think I was so stunned. I mean, the tears were coming, but I started like almost hyperventilating because, for one, he had me and I didn't know what was going on. And so, I'm a very emotional person. I'm a passionate person. And I'm very, very soft-hearted towards him. And so, when she left, I just sobbed. I sobbed to him and said, Father, thank you so much. I had no idea. I knew something was off. I just knew it. And I knew she was a demon. He will send demons to meet your enemies at their bedpost. And he has been doing it for generations, especially against Edom. Remember Jacob? He had to send all those bands of armies of angels towards Esau. He said, don't touch it. Because Esau was going to kill him. That's the remnant right there. Message from Yahuah. Leave it alone. Go nicely. He does not play over his children. He is terrible today over us because we came with our hearts while we were still in liberty to do what we wanted, what you willed. And I never did that. I never did that. Anything that went against what I felt like him as a father over me as a daughter and raising his children, his grandchildren, because that's how I looked at it. I didn't come outside of that. And he watched over me like a lion. And that's why I used lions for me and him. Because there were times when I went to sleep And I had this peaceful sleep, and then the next day I find out that my best friend, the only one, was going to take my life over some crap that I didn't even know what it looked like. How can you not love him? And I was never the same. He is the best thing that you will ever possess. He is more precious than anything that he's creating. Anything. And he will save you from what's coming. And Yahuah asked me to bring this to you so that you can sleep at night. So that you can be the only one that shows up at work just, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Yay! And they're over there going, because that's my Father. He is the good shepherd. He is the best Father. Yes, he corrects. Yes, because a father that loves his child corrects his child. Am I right? Indeed I am, because I do the same. But he does it in such tender ways, and he knows right how to deal with you without damaging you. And he knows right where you are. Psalms 139. I wrote down all your days before even one of them came to be. He's been getting you through because he loves you. And it's just your time to wake up. And it's a beautiful thing. Because there is hell coming, and you can walk out your front door and smell it. And Edom is shaken, and soon they will be on their knees like a woman, screaming in childbearing. And that head is crowning. You know how I know? Because almost all of this continent is all burned up. If it's not grown, if it's not burned up, it's poisoned. Just as he promised in our last 2 videos. Isn't that awesome how you could just click it? After you've been learning this long, he gives you pieces and give you pieces, and at the end, as a father, he says, all right, now get all your pieces on the table that I've taught you. You'll be okay, Father. And I mean to make him proud. So I pay full attention. Believe that. I want to make him proud. I want to make him smile. So I'm sitting there, I'm content. I'm in it. And he says, now I want you to just shove them together, everything that I've said to you, and put them together. And then when you click them together, you're like, it is unbelievable. Because you see things the way that he sees them. You hear them the way that he hears them. You understand them with his wisdom and his knowledge. And that's the only thing you have to get that from him. In last days, he said, I'm only going to give it my ways to those. The Sabbaths, all of them. Feasts, all of them. We only have 3. The rest are dogs. Okay? I'm only going to give it to those who diligently seek me for it. Because you only diligently seek what you love. And Yah said, I'm going to give it to my people. And I will keep them safe. And I will feed them. And I will have them lying down in thick pastures. I will have them drinking out of brooks with fresh, clean water. Because I'm the good shepherd. And I am going after my flock, and I am separating them from the world and this heathen. And mine are coming over here, and then I'm going to destroy this. And bring the 6th out of it, of Edom. To build my cities with their bare hands in slavery under my people like they put them through. But there'll be laws over them. Y'all will love them, the ones that come out of that. The 6th, which is 144,000 of Edom. We were never the 144,000. And now is the time for untwisting and pulling veils and illusions and cutting them down. And that's why their witchcraft doesn't work anymore. Everything's coming back on their heads and exposed. Because now when they go in and try to use our Hebrew books, our sacred books like Psalms, that is sacred. Between my father and our King David. Those are love letters. Those are songs to Yahuah about how much he loved him. The same as I do. It's personal. It's a personal place. And so when they come in there and try to get something out of there and take it, put it against one of their enemies like a witch, it comes back full throttle. Second they speak it, it hits the gang, hits the ground, all the devils come up, and they turn right back on the damn sender. Because they're not your books anymore, and you should have never played with them. You see what's happening? He's cleansing it of all of it. But you don't have to be afraid. Y'all said, I will comfort mine last days. And I will even guard you from what you see. Because the earth in Egypt has never seen what I'm about to do to this one. This fucking nation right here. And you know why. Look at it. They colonized Hawaii and now they have to burn it down. Why? Because it's defiled. Like America and Canada is. He said the continent. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to burn it to a crisp. And I'm going to leave it as an example. Just like the first Tower of Babylon. It's still there. It's burnt to a crisp and snapped. But this time it'll be forever. Now those videos are on my YouTube. And I mean, it's all so perfect. And Yah is letting everyone see why I have to destroy this and get rid of this nation forever. And keep the ones that have evolved. Yes, let me write that down. Yes. I got you, Father. Keep the ones that have evolved to blood type A, which is the first blood type, which is mankind. Now, let me tell you what Father said. Remember when King Nebuchadnezzar, Yah had enough of him. So Father said, you're going to go live 7 years in the field like a beast of the field. Like he came from. He was white. He had red hair. He was hairy. And he was a king over Babylon. Over Daniel. And he sent him into the field naked. And he grew hair. And he ate grass. And he lived as a beast on his hind and hands like this for 7 years until his punishment was up. Now, you tell me how they would survive that. They didn't come from it if it wasn't in them. They're hunters. That is why God calls them beasts of the field, because it is the truth. But not all of us came from that. And that is why he could live that way and then stand back upright as a man and take his kingdom back over in Babylon. Everything should be fitting together for you. And all you have to do is just get out of the way. Go to Father. Teach me your laws. Show me the path that you want me to take. He will teach you by yourself. It's my job just to make the appointment and set it up. And I'm telling you, go now. He's waiting because he sent me today. So, and something else to the sweetie that sent me that message, listen to me. Evidently, I think y'all used your message to get through to me because there are many that are terrified right now in the very situation that you're in. And he will get this to them. I know him. Because it's his words and it's his message to you. I'm just the Bugatti that he drove today. His daughter. His chariot. I hope that this blessed you because what happened to me was mind-blowing and I will never forget it. That's why when he asked me to go into dark places, I don't have no problem with it because I know that there are palace guards on me, in military form because I am royalty. Every king has guards over his children. It's inheritance. So I know. I told you that's the difference between having an Elohim and not when you boast on him. Because I had someone say pride before the fall. I don't think so. That's your freaking world over there. Over here, I know what it'll do. So you can keep all that. When I didn't even know I was in danger, he was there. So I will boast. I had another lady tell me, and it was around their holidays that curse you the most. But that's okay. Go ahead and celebrate. She told me, she said, I don't think that it's right for you to tell people how blessed you are. And people are less fortunate. They can't even afford a tree. Or I know you don't celebrate that stuff, but they can't even afford anything for their children. I said, well, whose fault's that? Huh? So what you're asking me to do is be quiet about my beautiful life for following Hebrew law and return home to my Elohim and my Father who promised it to me in our covenant, a covenant that stands. It's the only one you're going to get. So he blesses me, raises me from the dead, makes me like I'm 30 years old and I am not. And you want me to hold his glory and his praise. Well, I tell you, I will not. And if you ever come at me like that again, I will certainly curse your ass. Because if you belong to my Father, you would want me to glorify him. But you would also be blessed just like me and not looking for a way to feed your children. Come to the law or deal with what Rome gives you. I will get with you. Yes, I have a tender side, but I got a lioness in me too that y'all put there. That doesn't fear. And I will defend his heart and his name because I hear what you say in front of him and I will fuck you up over it. Last thing you want me to do is pull the laws and go into court and prosecute you in front of my Father and all the judges under him. I win every fucking case I go with. So think twice. Think twice. We are the most deadly and lethal thing in this freaking earth right now, and we don't even leave our kitchen when we call court and assemble an army to attack. We are full well how our David prayed to Yahuah, and we pray the same. And we will pull his Hebrew laws to justify what we're asking for. It's the difference between us and Christians. We'll bust your fucking ass legally under Hebrew law, which is what we come from, mankind. So we can either be friends or we ain't got it. I don't really care. I'm here to get the princess back to my Father as I promised him I would. So keep your feelings to yourself. Or you're gonna call me to a battlefield and the next time you grab my damn tail like that, I will bite you. I promise. So I hope this video blessed you guys. I'm so glad that I got to bring it to you and I love you so much. And any time, day or night, y'all will wake me up. He has woke me up in the middle of the night and had me check my message or somebody need me desperately right there. He will send me because I asked him to. Send me for what you love, y'all. You've been hurt so bad. Father, send me. Get me out there. Train me. I'll go through it. I went through hell to get to you. So you can either walk out of here with me and live, or you can sit with you where you are, with what you are, and what you're going to be destroyed with by my Father. I'm just his ambassador, and I'm just sending a message, bringing a message to you for him. It is fully up to you, and it matters not what decision you make. There's a record made that I indeed gave this to you in his court, because I bring him. I tell him you have to go with me, or I cannot do this. If I know you're there, then I know that I can do this, but I cannot do it without you. And you have to talk to me. Help me to reach them, because I don't know. So I deliver this message to you from my Father with all of his love and compassion, and I brought you evidence to prove it so. And I give it to you to make a wise decision over. If you want a covering, I'm telling you where to go. And you can follow me out of here. My head is bowed to all of our princes of the mighty tribe of Yehudah and the mighty tribe of Gad. I love you guys so much. And Yasharel itself. The other tribes are getting ready to join us. This is almost over. Y'all's doing exactly what I told you he would do last days. And you don't even know the best of it, but you're gonna, because we're going back into Ezekiel. I love you guys, and I pray with all my heart that you hear him and no one else, and what he wants you to do. and you'll be saved. He promised. He promised. No more fear. You have a way out, a way of escape. And he always gives you a way of escape. Ask anybody that loves him, anybody that's close to him. I don't care what comes, he will carve you, send an angel to clear the way with swords drawn if they have to, so that you can come through like royalty. I am his witness. I am his witness. And I'm his daughter. Until the next time, shalom.